Welcome everybody to the 2020 August 27th full board meeting. First item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise and recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item number 3, invocation by Commissioner Carabelli. Commissioner Carabelli, are you with us? I heard you earlier. Mike, is Commissioner Carabelli on the line? I see his.
Yeah, we do see him on the line, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's either hearing us or able to unmute himself.
Okay. Anybody else like to jump in on invocation?
I apologize, Mr. Chairman, a little technical difficulty.
Mr. Chairman, I'll step up.
Oh, all right. Commissioner Carabelli is back. Thank you, Commissioner Romano.
Please lower our heads. And Lord, as we gather today at this meeting virtually, we ask that you will be in our midst. Help us to make decisions that will be pleasing to you. Help us to be able to discuss the matters at hand in a responsible way, and the willingness to give up having it our own way. God, let this meeting be productive, and it should be in all areas of our life. Help us to keep you in the forefront of our minds as we work today on behalf of the people of Macomb County. In your name, Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. All right. Item number 4, adoption of the agenda. I'm going to need a motion to adopt the agenda.
Romano, adopt the agenda.
Okay, I have Romano, the only one legible voice I heard. Can I get support?
Support. Don Brown.
Okay, Commissioner Brown. I just want to let everyone know that we are going into closed session at the end of this meeting after the last public participation. That information should have been sent to you as this meeting started. All of the case names will be listed by Crystal when we get to that point, so that it is on the record. So please vote.
That motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Item number 5, approval of minutes dated August 24th, 2020. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Carabelli?
Support Kleinfeld.
And support Commissioner Kleinfeld. Please vote.
That motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Item 6, public participation. Any members of the public wishing to speak on items on the agenda? You have 5 minutes. Please unmute yourself by pressing *6 and give me your name and address. Going twice. Any members of the public wishing to speak in public participation? And for a third and final time, any members of the public? If not, you have a public participation at the end of this meeting available to you. All right, we're going to close public participation. Item 7, correspondence from the Office of County Executive. We don't have anything in specific, but we will have an update from them on item number 8. So we'll close 7, go to item 8, presentations. 8A, we have an update on COVID-19 emergency from July 11th to August 21st. Can I first get a motion to receive and file?
So move, Hall.
Thank you.
Support Carabelli.
Thank you. So I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to guess that we have Vicki on the line for this.
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Sorry about that. Thank you, Vicki. The floor is yours.
No.
Welcome.
Very good. Thank you, Board Chair, and good afternoon, Commissioners. Today will be our report essentially from July 11th through August 21st. I'm going to stick to the first few pages within your packet that was sent today. And I know basically our process has been, the departments have been coming to you with their items for approval like normal. So I will not spend additional time on those items and rehash anything. as normal as well. The department heads and other people from the EOC are on the call if you have any questions. Just to talk about, we're essentially at day 168 as of August 21st, so some 5 months in since we first started our emergency with COVID. Local declarations in place. There still is just one local declaration in place. There are no county emergencies in place. And then there is the state disaster declarations in place right now till September 4th, along with several executive orders from the governor that are still in place. And then as well as we are still under a national emergency. Highlighting areas from community action. Obviously, this is an area that we expect to continue and somewhat worsen over the course of time, unfortunately, just due to the economics of the situation that we're in. Community action and the other organizations and departments involved in this area are doing and continue to do a great job. Just within the past month, they've had 306 calls to their hotline, which is an increase over time. They've doled out just close to 5,000 in their food boxes through their food program, and just under 22,000 meals through their Meals on Wheels program alone. And again, just within that month period. Also, one of the new items that came from the state was their Mask Up initiative that was announced in August. And that we were not necessarily aware of on how that was going to roll out. But once again, community action stepped up to the plate. They have 100,000 masks through that program. They've done a lot of outreach already, and most notably, they've contacted low-income areas through HUD and MSHDA. With those contacts, they have 25,000 masks going out. And they've also been contacted by 1,000 individual residents to get masks out to those people as well. And within those masks, they come in packets of 5 that they are distributing. So they did a great job with that program. In the emergency management realm, we had our most recent update to our COVID response plan for the county. And as an employer, that was last updated July 30th. We are on our 6th revision, and most of those have to do with keeping up with changes through executive order and or within CDC guidance and in our operations here within the county. We've talked before about the good work that many departments are doing with our homeless coalition. And one item that I just wanted to highlight from their report this month was the initiative that was actually instituted through the city of Roseville and their police department, which is Operation Safe Haven. We had a number of departments that participated in those programs. It was a great success. And with those involved entities and agencies, we are planning another event in Warren coming up soon as well. So that is really great to hear. Our personal protective equipment and supplies continues to be ongoing. We've distributed just over 1.6 million items throughout the county. Again, our target entities with that specific program is all of our local jurisdictions, police, fire, EMS. We continue to work with congregate care sites, long-term care, nursing homes, hospitals, things of that nature are run through that program, as well as creating a stockpile. Talking with Brandon Lewis, we are going to be planning another purchase that will more than likely come to the board following all of our purchasing provisions, just to make sure that we stay stockpiled and have that cash. And we do have pushes that are continuing to go out in the community, small requests that are coming in for those entities through that program. Along with staying in the PPE realm, we do have our business kit program done in conjunction with the planning department. And to date, we have just over 3,400 businesses that have signed up to get those kits. And our plan is to continue that program ultimately through the end of the year with support from the CARES Fund process. So that's been a really good and really successful program. Have a lot of businesses that like to be able to have those items to either get them up and running or sustain them while they have their operations. In regards to the finance department, as usual this month, you have a number of financial reports within the packet. Our current revenues of all the grant programs related to COVID-19 is roughly 158 million, just shy of that. When you look at our actual expenditures out the door, we're roughly over 38 million. And we have just another 5.4 million that's been encumbered at this point in time. Again, as you know, through items that have come through the board, we have a lot of items that were either just approved last month or this month. So once those are approved and get moving forward, we should start to see more expenditures tick up within those areas. When you look at your specific one solution items, many of the items continue to be the same areas. Obviously, we have the expenses in payroll, PPE that I've talked about are larger items right now. All of our food programs that we're running and food supplies going on. We had our initial facility cleaning, and that has gone up a little bit. We've had other minor areas to be cleaned in the county that we've done, as well as some other facility protections that have gone on within. If you look at the appropriations line item, that's roughly 17.4 million. That is all the business grants to date, basically phase 1 and phase 2. The commissioners have been getting those reports basically on a weekly basis. Those checks have gone out. And actually this week, not all included in this report, but actually phase 1 and phase 2 are essentially complete with all businesses that were eligible and approved having their checks cut and gone out the door. So that's been a great job by the planning department and finance department. I know Michigan Works has helped with that as well as our chamber and other partners. So that's good to have that money out the door. The special needs category, again, that's a large area, but again, that goes back to our vulnerable populations. A lot of the programs being run through community action and the programs that they have. We're starting to see the invoices come in our contract services other area for the MedStar contract that we have in place, as well as our lab contracts for the testing that we're doing at the site. So you might have noticed an increase there in the money. We have money in the contribution, just over $1 million to Martha Teaberry. That has been paid, and some of the capital items through IT with laptop purchases and things of that nature have started to happen. So again, those are the larger areas within the report, and certainly myself or Steve Spiegel can take any questions on those areas. And then just also in your budget or in your packet, we've included the CARES projects themselves that are part of the 152 million. So you do have an updated report within the packet. You may note that as we would with any grant program, as you start to approve items, deny items, you have certain areas, new areas that pop up with the need or requests. We've moved some money around for those projects. Some of our anticipated spending caps we're just not going to meet. So obviously we want to make good use of that money. Some of it has still stayed within those project areas. Many of those, if there's a budget amendment needed per board policy, those have already come to the board. But we're starting to outline some of those changes so you can see them. And then also starting next month, again, specific to these projects, we'll start to show the exact expenditures. So you'll get to see, while they're in the IFAS report, we know it's not organized necessarily the same way. So we just want to make sure we show it to you both ways so that you can easily decipher where the process is and where we are with those spending plans. Moving on to health department highlights. As of today, in total, we have 11,944 positive cases in the county and a total of 923 deaths. Our 7-day average of positive cases is 82, and our positivity rate is 7.5%. There continues, to be talk and discussion as Macomb County as a hot spot and maybe why that's happening. Basically, with all the wonderful contact tracing that the health department has done, there's not necessarily one or two large outbreaks where that's occurring. It really just continues to be several ongoing similar type areas, where it's the graduation party or the prom, social gathering. Again, the nice weather, more businesses are opening up, things of that nature. So they are doing a great job with their contact tracing. That can be difficult in contacting individuals and then actually having them respond to their questions. But any of these areas, where you might want to call it a hot spot and maybe it's a known, even if it starts potentially at a business, the health department is providing education and resources to those people, letting them know, what the rules are, what the guidance is, and trying to help keep those down. So we're also working with the jurisdictions where these are happening and seeing if there's any way, that we can provide education. Maybe they need some testing in those communities, and we need to bring out a mobile lab, and we're trying to be on top of that and making sure that they're getting the support and resources that they need. Just looking at the past month, they've actually have done 3,890 contacts or case investigations basically with a single individual that is positive or believed to be positive. From that number, there's just over 5,800 who were identified as close contacts. Those are the individuals then that they follow up with to get more information, see if they're having any symptoms. Those numbers also include anyone traveling abroad that they can come in contact with. For their helpline, again, only in a month, they handled 12,451 individual residents within that time frame, answering a variety of questions, providing resources, outreach. So that's a lot of phone calls within that department and their staff. As you know, our drive-through testing site remains open still 3 days a week. One of the changes we made, I think, since we last met is appointments are no longer needed based on what they learned through that process and doing appointments. It ended up being a better system where they just take people as they drive up. So they are busy, generally more in the morning. Within the last month, they've just done over 4,500 tests at that site. I think right now, when we talk this week on our daily calls, we're averaging over 300 people a day just at our site alone. So we're busy, and that's good. And we have the service to provide. They're continuing their work with the congregate care sites in the county and the long-term nursing centers and our agreement with MedStar and our strike teams that we have. So again, we don't have a lot of outbreaks in those facilities, and I think a lot of credit goes to the facilities and their staff, but then also the program that the health department and others have set up in the county to make sure they're talking to those people on a routine basis. They know we're available, and we're being a value-added resource to them and assisting them in that process. One of the items that you heard come up as well is just about other vaccines and getting those out within the community, and especially with school. Many schools now are virtual, but others are in place, but it's also a good health protection that vaccines go on, and that program basically doing it all via appointment and changing their methodology was able to get 700 vaccines done within the community. So that's a great job as well. Moving on to some of the highlights for our Human Resources Department. They continue to operate our employee volunteer bank. There are still internal assignments where we need assistance from other departments and other employees. So that continues to operate, and they continue to help head that up. So that's a good program. As we talk about the remote work policy, that conversation is ongoing and still changing, but HR is heading that up along with IT on what that policy may look like when we go to fully implement it. In regards to information technology, I believe under their CARES Act appropriation that we had internally, we basically looked at all their projects and internally have approved majority of them, denied some for a variety of reasons. And I believe the board has seen all but 5 of those that were just approved internally this week. So again, I know Jaco's covered those in previous meetings and some are on today. So they're making great progress within that area. Our Joint Operations Center or Media Center continues to push out our public information for us in a variety of ways through our social media, videos, blogs, our updates, our newsletter. So that continues to be very valuable to us and the community to have one source and such a capable group to get those messages out for us and make sure that we're hitting the right targets. One of the things we've noticed lately is that we've actually seen a growing increase in the number of people visiting our website, which is our main hub for our information, and we're now averaging just under 200,000 visits a week to our website. So that is great news as well. Planning and economic development, again, I know they've been in front of the board for a number of projects this month, but through that department and our economic recovery task force that they put together, they are pushing forward their projects and programs. I talked about the phase 1 and phase 2 business grants and the money that's gone out the door for those programs. So those are heading to are basically closing as of this week with getting the funds out. I know they gave a presentation to you on their dashboard. Hopefully you got to see that or get a chance to check that out. It's a great dashboard, very similar in nature to our COVID-19 dashboard with a lot of good stats. People can easily see where the money's gone, who's gotten those projects, the different demographics and data tied to that. So we're very thankful to them and IT for getting that up and running, so it's all easily accessible to us and the public. In regards to our work with education, both K through 12 and the higher ed, we continue to work with them in a number of ways. K through 12, there's many people that are involved in at least a minimum of 2 meetings with the ISD and the superintendents every week. Obviously, we've seen the different schools and whether they're going virtual or what types of programs that they are offering. Again, we're continuing to support them and work with them, not only in their food programs, again, which have to continue whether they have children and whether their schools are open or not, our PPE supply that we're providing to them. We have a number of programs in regards to technology, especially for those that are going virtual, to assist them to make sure that they have laptops out there, connectivity for people, that they have the right software. Even through planning and economic development program, we're working on some career counseling, some mentor programs for the teachers and the students to make sure that if they're in a virtual environment and their education continues, and that they can continue to learn and grow. So a lot of work going on there. We do have some projects too that we're working on with Macomb Community College. We worked with them before on PPE and technology support. We're also working with Wayne State and OU as well with some technology support that they need for their virtual environments. And some of those projects will be coming to the board probably within the next month with more details. So a lot of great work out there. Regards to our overall healthcare hospital system, we continue to fare well in that arena with COVID. Again, might have a higher increase in cases that we're seeing, but our hospital system is able to maintain and sustain the cases that are coming into their system. We're not seeing any huge increases or any issues there, which is a great area and a great place to be in for everyone. So we're glad that is stable. One of the items I do want to mention in there, and it's popped up in a couple other categories, but just going back to the testing that's going on with in the healthcare realm, a lot of good partnerships, especially with the county and Wayne State. We've talked about that before, but that's increasing. Wayne State is actually getting out into more communities where we have a need. So we're very thankful for that program and contract that the board approved for them to come out to those locations. In regards to our current and long-term initiatives, many of these have been reported before, so I'll just talk about some of the newer ones. We talk about the continued, within the county government itself, our need to promote the remote work is ongoing. We are looking at, obviously, the impacts to our employees and our business services with the schools being remote. We obviously know that has an effect on our employees, so we're taking great care in that area to make sure that we support them. And that if they need to be home with their children, and if we need to be flexible, that we're willing to do that. We know that we still have services to provide, but we believe that by taking care of our employees, that will also take care of the services, and we'll all continue to be able to do a great job in that area. And then obviously too, we have our issues too with various employee exposures that may come into the workplace. We've set up a number of systems for that. Obviously, we changed over to our online daily check-in system. So that seems to be going very smoothly, not only with the employees, but also with visitors. We have a team in place that's notified of any yes answers. We have our communication system through our COVID-19 email. And we track down any issues, any concerns through that program and that process. So that seems to be going very well. And the last item I'll touch on, sorry, going back to testing. We talked before about some partnerships with the state, and one of the partnerships was trying to open some neighborhood sites within facilities and not just a mobile site that may open up one day and then is gone. We're continuing to have those conversations with the state and look at different areas. We're still trying to open up a location within the East Point and Roseville area. So that essentially program is with the state, and they're looking at the contract now with the local organization that wants to host that. But we've also had conversations of maybe setting up a neighborhood site like that, also within Warren and some other areas. So I know most notably late last week, they went and did a site visit out in Warren. So we're hopeful that that will come to fruition as well. And with that concludes my report for this month. And if there's any comments or questions, I or the others on the call would be glad to answer them.
Right. Thanks, Vicki. I have Commissioner Kleinfeld up with a question.
Thank you. I just have two very quick questions. The first is the outstanding declaration of emergency that it's your understanding exists in the county, is that East Point?
No, from my understanding, I believe that's Shelby Township.
Oh, okay.
It has one.
With respect to the money that went out to the businesses, do you see that as a closed program that you will not open again in the future for those who may have missed it on the first round? Is there any discussion about that, or is it just a closed program?
No, just closed for those phases. And your thought process is the same as ours. We have our closing those. There's another a number of programs going through there. We want to start looking at our exact expenditures and see what funds we have available. But we have talked about that if we feel there's a need and the necessary funding available, that we would open another program. We're kind of giving us the month of September, if you will, with a lot of projects just starting and expenditures going out the door, to kind of in September measure where we're at with our expenditures, and then potentially look at opening programs again in October or creating something new that might have a better fit. You're muted, Veronica.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said thank you. I think there's quite a few businesses that missed opportunities, and maybe they'll have some sort of opportunity in the future. Thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner Kraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Vicky, thank you for the report. I was reading through it, and I want to commend Mr. McKinnon and our HR department. I know how difficult it is to work with unemployment, and to see the number of employees that we still have outstanding needing help in the single digits is fantastic. Hopefully by next month we see that number at 0 and everybody's taken care of. I know the program has come to an end, but my question is for Mr. Smeagol in terms of dollars. I know I've asked this before. Do we have a number on the total savings yet from that program? If he's there. If not, Vicky, is there any idea?
I thought he was on the call. No, I'd rather not give an answer because I know we've talked in general terms, but Commissioner Kraft, that's certainly something I can follow up with Steve and get you an answer either later today or tomorrow.
That's perfectly fine. I see Steve jumped on, so maybe he has something. If not, later is fine.
Okay.
Steve, I see he's on the call. I see a chat. Steve, can you unmute? Well, looks like we're having trouble. I know he's there. I just saw the chat on there, but Steve, anytime you can unmute, we'll take that answer. But at this point, we don't have any other speakers. So we had a motion to receive and file. Vicky, thank you very much. Commissioners, if you would please vote.
That motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Item
Thanks.
number 9. Oh, go ahead. Oh, thank
No,
you.
just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Item number 9, Internal Services Committee recommendations.
Move them in their entirety.
Okay, that was Commissioner Drollet.
Yep.
Support?
Support Romano.
Thank you. I have motion and support. We'll just take a peek. I don't have anybody wishing to speak on this, so please vote.
That motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Item number 10, I think we're going to have to separate item A out because that was the one we were talking about with Vicky yesterday. So can I get a motion for 10A? Anybody?
Motion to approve A.
Thank you.
Support Hall.
Okay. I have a motion and
Okay.
support.
Mr. Chair, I move to amend the motion.
Okay.
Drollet.
Commissioner Drollet, you have an amendment. Do I have
Yep.
support?
Included in the packet. If they have support, I'd like to speak to it, please.
Okay. Can I get support for that, please? So we can hear what this is all about.
Support Hall.
Thank you, Commissioner Haw. Commissioner Drollet, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, as you are aware, when this first came before us earlier in the week, I was concerned that the program included a requirement for racial and gender quotas within the program. as a requirement of signing the contract with the state. And subsequently, I had concerns about the constitutionality of that provision, given that the state has amended its constitution to prohibit any sort of differential treatment between citizens based on their gender or ethnicity with regard to government operations. So I've spent quite a bit of time over the last 2 days talking to both John Chapka, Pete Webster, but also legislators, state legislative staff, because this is essentially a bill that, or a law that came from state, in addition to law firms, independent law firms that specialize in this subject area, like the Center for Individual Rights, the Pacific Legal Foundation, and others. And as a result of those conversations, while different people within that spectrum of folks I talked to had different opinions, it's my opinion, based on that research, that the state illegally included this provision, that it's unconstitutional under our state law to treat people differently based on their ethnicity or their gender with regard to contracting, hiring, those sort of things. So that caused me great concern. But in my conversations with John Chapka and others, and listening to Vicki Rad's presentation on this issue, I've been assured that we can operate the program without treating anybody differently in Macomb County with regard to their ethnicity, with regard to their gender. That our operation of the program, based on how we've operated other programs that didn't have this requirement, but resulted in everybody who applied being treated equally, I'm confident that our county cannot separate our citizens. We are one Macomb, and every citizen in Macomb County is entitled to equal treatment under the law, no matter what their ethnic background is or their gender is. So this amendment allows for the county to sign this contract, but requires the executive branch to ensure that both in the signing of the contract and the administration of the program, that we are in full compliance with state law and the state constitution. And as long as we can operate within those parameters, I think we should move forward and approve the contract so that our businesses can access these resources. So I hope for your support on the amendment, and I'll answer any questions on the amendment that I can. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Oh, thank you, Commissioner Gillette, for taking the time to look into this. I don't have any speakers on the line, so I'm going to click out and look one more time and see. I don't have any speakers on this amendment. I just want to make clear, you did talk to our independent counsel, and you've talked to John Chapka, and they are in agreement that this would not hurt anything, but it would just allow us to make sure that we are following the state law and the state constitution.
Well, I would say I talked to both independent counsel with regard to helping craft the amendment. He did not offer a position on whether or not our signing of the contract would potentially create liability for us. But I've talked to Chapka extensively about that, and based on Vicki Rad's description of the previous programs and where we fall into the parameters, they assure me. Certainly, John Chapka assures me, and in discussing it with other members of the executive branch, that JP and others, that they can operate this program without violating the Constitution. And so I'm going to trust that's the case, but I want to make sure that we include that in this vote so that it's clear where we stand as a board, that we want to make sure that our Constitution is respected when we, in signing this contract. So yes, I still believe that the state has some liability here, and that might be taken up at some point by some group. But I think we can move forward with this amendment, and with the assurances of the executive that will follow the Constitution very strictly, I think we can move forward and sign the contract.
All right, I still don't have any other speakers. So that being said, we're going to vote on Commissioner Gillette's amendment.
The motion passes 7-6 with Commissioners Duje, Sauger, Kleinfeld, Lucido, Leonetti, and Myjack voting no.
Thank you. We'll move on to 10A as amended. Can I get a motion for item 10A as amended?
Motion
to approve, Romano.
Support Carabelli.
Okay. Any speakers on this? Okay, I don't see any speakers. Please vote.
The motion passes 7-6 with Commissioners Duje, Sauger, Kleinfeld, Lucido, Leonetti, and Myjack voting no.
All right, thank you. Item 10B through N possibly, or any of the above. I get a motion.
Motion to approve B through N.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Hall. Support.
Support Drollet.
All right, any conversation on any of these items? I don't see any. Please vote.
That motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Item 11, Finance Audit Budget Committee recommendations. 11A, motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Kraft.
Thank you.
Support Hall.
All right, thank you. Please vote.
That motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Item 12A, proclamation for commending Donna Kangemi upon her retirement from Macomb County government. I know Donna's on the line. So Donna.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Support?
Support Hall.
Thank you. Donna, I know you're with us, and I'm going to give the commissioners a chance to talk, but I want to just talk for a second here before we give you the floor. Over the past 24 years, 21 of them as union president, Donna's invested enormous amount of time and energy into the effort of Macomb County community mental health, and with her work with emotionally impaired individuals of all ages. So Donna's had many achievements to be proud of. In addition to helping so many people through her role at CMH, she's helped reclassify therapists, sat on the bargaining team, which made notable changes to the county's retirement plan, negotiated many contracts with the county and Martha T. Berry, and attended to the needs of many Ask Me 411 members. Donna leaves Macomb County with a legacy of hard work and dedication, passion, and a confidence to face tough situations head on and the tenacity to see them through. She'll be greatly missed and fondly remembered and appreciated for all she has done for Macomb County government, Macomb County community mental health, and her devoted Ask Me 411 members. So before Donna comes on, I'm going to just double check over here and see. I don't have any speakers. Donna, are you on the line? So if you are, you would push *6. And if you're not, I have bad information. All right. Well, Mike or Patty, if you know if Donna's on the line or not, that would be great if you let me know. Otherwise, we're going to move on with a vote.
She is on the line.
All right. Well, we're going to assume that she either can't get out of mute or she doesn't wish to talk. So, Donna, we will let you talk anytime you figure it out. So if you do figure it out and would like to talk, please do so. Otherwise, congratulations on your retirement. And commissioners, please vote.
two people that want to talk on this item.
Oh, all right. Well, they weren't on there when I checked last time. Phil Kraft.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I tried to catch it before we moved on. But Donna, congratulations. I just want to thank you for everything that you've done, especially with CMH. I know when I first came on board, you and I didn't see eye to eye on everything, but we sat down for almost 2 hours, and I think we worked everything out, and we wanted to do what was best for those that CMH serves and for our employees as well. So, well-deserved retirement. We're going to miss you. Congratulations, and best of luck with enjoying not working. Take care, Donna.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Duge.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Donna, being employed at the county for 21 years, you've seen a lot of things come and a lot of things go. I want to thank you from myself and most everybody at the county for your diligence, for your hard work, and for the fact that you've always brought truth to the table and worked your tail off for not only the people you represented, but the whole county. Thank you very much. You're leaving a tremendous hole forward, and I wish you good luck enjoying your retirement.
All right. Well, I think I heard Marv Sager would like to speak. Marv?
Donna, you're a class act for all the many years you were in there. You treated me with kindness and the rest of the people. You can walk out of that county with your shoulders up high. You did a great job, and you'll be a tough act to follow. Good luck to you, Donna.
Thanks, Marv.
Star 6. It's a star 6.
It's a star 6, Marv. All right. So I don't have anybody else wishing to speak. So unless Donna is willing to come on or able to come on, we're going to take a vote to approve this.
That motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item 12B, a proclamation commending Kathleen Lamaco upon her retirement from SEMCOG. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion for B and C.
Support.
All right. Well, Kathleen is not on the line, but most of all of you know Kathleen Lamaco, and her name's pretty synonymous with SEMCOG. She's been there since 1978. She's certainly, a true encourager of SEMCOG's principles, purpose, and helping local governments to improve and maintain the transportation systems, the regional environment quality, and the economic interest in infrastructure. So Donna's always like working to bring out the best in everybody. She's always got a smile on her face. We were always happy to see her down there. She knew everybody's name somehow, and no matter who you were down there, Donna knew your name, and she's going to be tough to replace. I know she's not, okay, Donna, I'm back to Donna. I'm sorry, Kathleen, when you hear this. So Kathleen, we thank you for your services, and we commend you for all you've done for Southeast Michigan, and you've left an impact on the region and on all of us. So we're going to miss you. So I know Kathleen's not on the line, so I don't have anybody else.
This one's not working, Phil.
Hello.
You're on.
Unmuted.
What's going on here?
Hello.
That's mine.
Okay. All right. Well,
Commissioner Smith, this is Michael. It's Donna Jemmy trying to connect right now, actually.
okay. Donna, we can hear you if you're there.
Phil, what's going on here?
Donna, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know what's going on. My phone just mixed up too. So Donna's having some technical difficulties. We're going to, geez, oh, Pete, did we take that last vote? I don't even think we did. There we go. Thank you, Mike.
That motion for items B and C passes 13-0.
Thank you. And Donna, if you can hear us, any meeting that we have, feel free to join us again and come and talk to us if you don't get this wrapped up here. New business, item 13. Any commissioners with new business since the last meeting? We will, again, since it's a full board, we might have more people here. Congratulate Veronica Kleinfeld for being elected again as the chair of MAC.
No, I'm just going to get out of this.
So, Donna, we can hear you. So that's my new business. Although I'm going to look and see. I don't have any other speakers for new business. So that being said, we're going to close new business and we're going to do public participation. Then we're going to go to closed session, and Crystal will name out the closed session cases in a moment. So public participation, any members of the public wishing to speak, you have 5 minutes on any topic.
Hi, this is Rick Vogel from the clerk's office. Can you hear me?
We can. Hello there.
How are you doing?
We're fine. We're fine. You wish to go in public participation?
Yes. We're really proud of something in the clerk's office. As you know, yesterday was the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, which guaranteed women the right to vote. And County Clerk Fred Miller has assembled some videos from some very prominent Macomb County residents and elected officials. And we'd like to invite everybody to check out the webpage. If you just go to the county clerk's homepage, and down in the right-hand corner is a nice blue and gold logo celebrating the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment. You just click on that. There's a couple of videos right at the top. One is 18 leaders from Macomb County, including Commissioner Veronica Kleinfeld, who is featured in the video. I think everyone would enjoy that. And the second one's a little documentary spotlighting the struggle over the years of the 19th Amendment, getting it ratified, and some what County Clerk Fred Miller calls barrier breakers, which I think everyone will find very interesting. Please check it out. It's a very great milestone for America.
Great. Thank you very much. We hope you got the right picture for Commissioner Kleinfeld in there.
We have live video, so I think everybody will enjoy that.
And we're all very proud of what the work that Fred Miller and all of your staff are doing out there. You guys are right on top of things. It's such a welcome, refreshing change from the recent past. So thank you.
Very nice to discuss public
participation. But any other members of the public wishing to speak, you have 5 minutes. Please unmute yourself and give us your name and address. And you have 5 minutes. We're going once.
I would like to speak. Sorry, I like to give people a couple seconds.
Welcome. Give us your name and address again, and you have 5 minutes on any member.
All right.
Yeah, okay, great.
Once again, this is Mike Zubis, 322 North Avenue, Apartment 1, and that's located in Mount Clemens, Michigan. And before I begin, I just want to say it's been a great 100 years for women, hasn't it? But anyways, so I'm going to start now. With all due respect to the chairman, the commissioner, or the commission, and this great country that gives me the right to call out what I see as the problem that plagues it today, there is a word I wish to speak of, and that is the N-word. I'm not going to say it. I hate that word. The one that ends with the ER, and the one that ends with the A. Even though I understand the A word is used as a way to desensitize the ER word. But after growing up having plenty of people older than me use the ER version of it, I can't stand either one because I know what that word means without a shadow of a doubt. People can tell me what that word means, and I understand that too. But that word was created for a reason. The reason is oppression. One race oppressing another. Nothing more, nothing less. So when Leelanau County Road Commissioner Tom Urkel says an N-word is an N-word is an N-word is an N-word, and that the N-words in Detroit are the reason the virus happened, my initial reaction is immediate anger. Not just because he can't see past the fact that it came from China, but because, well, I hate that word so very much. Words like the N-words are not happy words. When people say, they say with anger, with all caps, N-word, 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 N-word. Why? Because it's a knee-jerk reaction. It's someone that you as a person can blame for every problem in society. So someone cutting you off on the road, stealing your kid's bike, or for the poor state of the inner cities, destroyed by the middle class being shipped to China in exchange for cheap goods. It's a universal word for taking everything that makes your life suck and blaming a person that isn't your handling of your life's problems for the life sucking. So back when I hear a public official say this stuff in the backdrop of a young father getting shot in the back 7 plus times in front of his children by police, it just makes you want to go into a rage and yell and scream unintelligently. But that never fixes the problem. Properly explaining the problem and coming up with a solution is better. But about that man, Mr. Blake, he's alive but paralyzed, which means he's going to be very hard for that man to play with his kids from now on. That could have been prevented. I honestly believe that. Unnatural death should no longer be acceptable anymore in America. And to all the people who are mad at riots, I recall a quote from Martin Luther King about riots, the one that people conveniently always leave out when discussing his comments on riots. Certain conditions continue to exist in our society, which must be condemned as vigorously as we condemn riots. But in the final analysis, a riot is the language of the unheard. And what is it that America has failed to hear? It has failed to hear that the plight of the Negro poor has worsened over the last few years. It has failed to hear that the promises of freedom and justice have not been met. It has failed to hear that large segments of white society are more concerned about tranquility and the status quo than about justice, equality, and humanity. So in a real sense of our nature's summers of riots that are caused by our nation's winters of delay, and as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these reoccurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Now, that was the 1960s. It's 2020. And in some parts of America, it's still okay to be racist. But I have to admit, it's not just the cops that are racist. Everyone is racist to some degree. From the people administering the county medical examiner's office, who has the biggest BBC obsession I've ever seen in my long time. And I'm not talking about British TV. Kids, don't look that up. To the manager who I used to live under. When I asked if an African-American friend could stay in the room next to me that I knew was open, the first thing he asked was he black? After saying yes, I was told there was no room available, thus proving that what Bernie Sanders fought all those years ago in the 1960s when it comes to discrimination in housing is still a reality for some people of color. And it goes on to the chief of police in Shelby Township, not only getting a slap on the wrist for calling protesters subhuman, but was basically given a free pass by the city council, which has a member that thinks interracial relationships are funny. Hence the Aunt Jemima meme. Whether you think the chief's comments are accurate, the idea behind the comment is simple. If you declare the person or a group of people you disagree with not to be human beings, you no longer have to argue with them as they're seen as less than human. Dehumanization is a terrible idea, and you only used by people who do not wish to have logical arguments. It's tantamount to trolling. Or how about Joe Biden calling out the Violence Against Women Act, but not the Joe Biden crime bill that Joe Biden's called his own crime bill?
Michael, you have 45 seconds.
All right, I'll skip to this part. And it's even okay for me to be racist. I was dating a mixed girl a while back. She was my pecan pie, her dad being black and her mom being white. Over the years, little thoughts popped in my head from time to time. He can't hold a job because he's always trying to move from place to place because he's trying to swindle people because you get the idea. I never got why until later. We're all prejudiced as our parents are not perfect, but that's not the important part. Towards the end of the relationship, though, I did it. We're arguing over stupid things. She brought up over her dad.
Michael, you got to wrap it up.
Okay, last paragraph then.
How about the last sentence?
Last sentence, okay. When I was already angry, so I did my best impression of that Kramer guy from some Seinfeld and went, "Oh yeah, well your dad is a." I immediately felt shame. All right, and I'll try to do the rest later.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Please mute yourself if you haven't yet. Anybody who was unmuted. Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to speak? And third and final time, any members of the public wishing to speak? Okay, we're going to close 15 and go back to 14, which I inadvertently skipped. Can I get a motion to receive and file the correspondence 14A, please?
So moved.
Romano makes that motion.
Thank you. I have a motion and support. Please vote.
That motion passes 10-0.
Thank you. We're going to go into closed session. I need Crystal, please jump on the line and give us the cases that we're going to be discussing.
Okay. Menard versus County, Stojewski versus County et al., Deeds versus Macomb County et al., Preston versus Macomb County et al., Barnes versus Macomb County et al., Metro Developers versus Macomb County, Ivory versus Macomb County, Staffer versus Treasurer, Macomb County versus CNG Lot Sweeping, United States of America versus Jackson et al., Birdie versus Miller, Surplus Proceeds versus the State of Polanski, Henry Ford Health Systems versus Macomb County Community Mental Health, Morocco versus Macomb County, Costello versus Kukuk Revocable Trust and Macomb County, Harrigs Love versus Macomb County, City of Roseville versus Deola and Treasurer, City of Roseville versus Knight and Treasurer, Long versus USA and Genesis Credit Union, Fox versus Saginaw County and Macomb County, Holly versus Macomb County and Huron Clinton Metro Parks Authority, Wells Fargo versus Jankowski et al., Taylor versus Macomb County et al., Del Cerrone Brothers ASAP Designs et al., Fresh versus Macomb County, Poole versus Macomb County et al., Rogan versus Macomb County et al., City of East Point versus Peters et al., County of Macomb versus Fergal, County of Macomb versus Vicor, County of Macomb versus Johnson, POAM versus the 16th Circuit Court, Simmons versus Macomb County Sheriff et al., Tosh versus Macomb County Clerk, Heritage Place West Condo Association versus Treasurer, Windy City Laser Service versus Macomb County et al., Cole versus Macomb County Clerk, Macomb County versus Bells, Everett versus Treasurer, Harris versus Shonaki and Nye, Howard and Howard versus Eric Smith in Macomb County, Boughton Miller versus Cogswell and Horan, Moore versus Macomb County, Langtree versus Macomb County and Smith, Kuzmano versus Macomb County Clerk, Tyndall versus Macomb County and James Stanley, Womble versus Macomb County et al., TrustLink Equities versus Wickersham, James Stanley versus Macomb County, Warren City Council versus County Clerk in Buffa, and Diaz versus County Clerk. And that's it.
All right. Well, we'll be back to adjourn in 3 or 4 hours, it looks like. Can I get a motion to go into closed session?
Motion to go into closed session.
A motion. Support?
Support Romano.
Okay, please vote.
Hello? Hello?
Donna?
Yes.
I'm sorry. We just made a vote to go into closed session.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So, and I'm sorry. You know, if everyone's still on, I mean, if no one minds, we can. I can let Donna sneak in here if that's all right. I'm going to go with my meeting. So if Mike, do we still have everybody on here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I see that we let's just not do the results of that vote yet. Donna Kangemi, we had a nice bunch of people talking about you. I hope you could hear it. If you would like.
I actually had some problems with my Google Meet, and I wasn't able to finish the meeting, so I apologize for any kind of technical problems I caused.
No, that's okay. You didn't cause any. You're just coming on right now, and everybody was very complimentary of you and your service, and wished you well. And I didn't know if you wanted to speak at all before we jump into closed session.
Yes, I would like to, please.
Well, good. Listen, after 24 years, you have the right to change our meeting order a little bit.
Well, I really appreciate that. I wanted to just very briefly, I won't hold the meeting up too long. I just wanted to very briefly thank you so much for the recognition that you've given me today, and to tell you how much of a pleasure it's been with working with every single one of you over these years. I've enjoyed every minute of it, even though many times it probably didn't look like that. Even in the controversial years, it really has been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed it. And I wanted to thank every one of you for the time that you've spent with me, I know every time I've reached out to any one of you, you've been bent over backwards, meeting with me, different places, sometimes restaurants, sometimes, in the offices, and spent time with me to try to work out any kind of issue I was having with my membership, and I've really appreciated it. I'll miss it. I'm going to spend, some time here at home. We're redoing our house, and what else can you do during these COVID times? There's not much else to do right now, but, I wanted to really get on here and try to tell you how much I've appreciated your cooperation over all these years. And it's really meant a lot to me, and it's meant a lot to my members. And I really wanted to tell every one of you thank you. And thank you for the recognition that you paid to me today. It really means a lot to me. It really does.
Donna, you can also, this meeting is, you'll be able to go back and listen to it, what was said earlier, so you can go back and listen to that. And I just tell you, I appreciate all the times we've had together, and especially the back in the day with the Charter Commission, which was awful lot of fun. So thank you very much for joining us, and we appreciate you, and we'll miss you.
Okay, thank you all. Bye-bye.
And Mike, back to the vote.
That motion passes 9-0.
Thank you. We will go into closed session, commissioners. You'll have your information sent to you, so we'll talk to you shortly on the other line. Thank you.
Should I motion to adjourn yet, or should I wait?
No, I heard everything, and I will grant everybody's motion and support and consider the meeting adjourned.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, guys.
You too.